In today's episode, I'm going to share with you a secret weapon that will help you gain a competitive advantage in the job interview process. We're going to talk about smiling. That's right, smiling, and how it's worth thousands of dollars to you in the job interview process. Let's talk about it. Okay, so understand this. Smiling in the job interview process can be worth thousands of dollars to you in both the short term and the long term. So, I want to tell you a quick story. So, I remember when I graduated college, I went into the insurance industry and I was selling door to door. And then there came this point in time where I ended up moving in with my cousin who was in Columbia, South Carolina. And he was at that time, he was the manager over an all you can eat pizza buffet with a popular brand. And he told me to come on up and I could live with him and try to get up on my feet, right? And so essentially, while I was with him for like, I don't know, maybe 2 months or so, I was trying to get into the mass communications industry. And specifically, I graduated from Bethune-Cookman College, and I graduated with a mass communications degree, specializing in broadcast production technology. So I was trying to find a television station, to kind of get in with, and I wasn't being successful. So while I was staying with him, I had a family. There was a family friend who was a vice president at a very large radio station, and he knew someone he knew a person that was running a radio station based in Augusta, Georgia, which was close to Columbia, South Carolina, where I was at that time with my cousin. And he ended up referring me in and helped me get my foot into the industry, right? And although it wasn't the television industry, I mean, he helped me get into the mass communications industry. I was in radio. And so I ended up getting this interview because of his referral. And as I was preparing for that interview, I was talking to my cousin, who again is a general manager, and he interviews people to hire for that job where he was doing all you can eat pizza. And so as I was kind of preparing with him and kind of going through some role playing, he ended up telling me something very valuable that I haven't let go of since he told me. He said, "Man, you know what? You're doing a great job with answering these questions, but you got to remember to smile as you're answering the interview questions. Like as you're going through this interview process, as a candidate, it's so important that you remember to smile." And he said, because it could be worth thousands of dollars to you, right? Now, see, at that time, I didn't understand when he was telling me that I didn't understand how the job interview process really went, right? And so what I came to understand with time is that, your technical expertise will get you the opportunity to interview. But once you get in the job interview process, great candidates are kicked out of the interview process, not because of the technical stuff, but because of the non-technical stuff, right? And like smiling, right? And so one of the easiest ways that you can improve your odds of coming across well in a job interview is you gotta smile, okay? I'm telling you, it could be worth thousands of dollars to you, both in the short term, because maybe you're interviewing for a role that's a step up from where you are now. So immediately, like sometimes you smiling in the process can improve your odds of getting a $5,000 increase, a $10,000 increase, a $50,000 increase, right? This is possible in the short term, but then when you think about it, if you get the job opportunity and you do well, you smiling in the interview process could potentially lead to thousands more dollars in the future. Okay? That's how serious this topic is. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you 4 reasons why you should focus on smiling in the interview process. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so the number 1 reason why you should smile in the job interview process is because smiling is a universal language of positivity. Now I want you to think about this, right? Regardless of what demographic you're a part of, regardless of what language you speak, okay? There's literally nowhere you can go on this planet where people don't associate smiling with positivity. Okay? There's nowhere you can go, right? It doesn't matter what socioeconomic status you have, it doesn't matter what race you are, it doesn't matter what religion you are, right? See, smiling is the universal language of positivity, right? And when I say the reason I say universal language is because the first language that you speak in any human interaction is body language. Okay, people are going to read your body language before they assess anything that ever comes out of your mouth, right? And so by smiling, this is the universal language of positivity, right? So when you're in the job interview process and you walk through the door, you much rather walk through the door with a smile than with a very blah type face. Okay. Reason number 2, smiling is contagious. Okay. It's contagious. When you walk into the room, if you walk into an interview situation and you walk through the door smiling, people will instantly gravitate towards you because people like being around positive energy, right? So when you're coming through the door and you're smiling, and listen, I'm not saying let's be ridiculous here, right? I'm not telling you to be unnatural. I'm not telling you to come through with a big Kool-Aid smile and you know, right? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is when you never miss an opportunity to smile where it makes sense in the job interview process, it is contagious, okay? And people will like you, people will gravitate towards you, right? And they may not even be able to consciously identify why they like you, but I assure you, if you come through the door smiling, that will be one of the reasons why that they like you, right? Whether they understand that on a conscious level or a subconscious level. Okay, reason number 3 for why you should smile in the job interview process is because smiling reduces stress. You know, I saw an article recently that I thought was interesting, and I wanted to share one little piece from it. So, according to an article that was written by Henry Ford Health, smiling is important because it helps your body release cortisol and endorphins that provide numerous health benefits such as stress reduction, reducing blood pressure, increased endurance, and much, much more. And so when I saw that, like, there's actually a physiological response that your body has to smiling, right? And so when you go into a job interview process, I get it, man. Sometimes it can be very stressful going into the process. And so before you even go into the actual interview, why don't you try this out? Why don't you try smiling? Why don't you try thinking of a reason to smile, right? Like, think about the positive reasons that will lead to you smiling before you actually go into the interview. Like, man, you know what? Man, this could be a great opportunity. This could be the opportunity that I've been looking for my entire career, right? That's something that would make me smile if I was going through the job interview process, right? Like, you want to think of things that will naturally make you smile even before you go into the actual interview, because it will help you reduce the stress levels that you have. Because a lot of times when we get stressed out in the job interview process, it's because we're not leveraging the power of our imagination in the right way. We're leveraging the power of our imagination to think about how things can go wrong, which causes stress. When you could simply identify when you're beating down that path and then make a conscious decision to focus on all the ways that this situation can go right and start smiling, right? And then you'll start releasing cortisol and releasing these endorphins that will instantly start to make you feel better and instantly start to reduce your stress so that you can walk through the door and bring your A game. And lastly, reason number 4 why you should smile in the job interview process. Because smiling inspires a sense of certainty. I've said this before, and I'm going to continue to say this over and over again, okay? There is a tremendous amount of uncertainty in the job interview process when you look at it from the perspective of a hiring decision maker, right? There's a tremendous amount of uncertainty, right? And so when a candidate comes through with with a smile on his face or her face, and is radiating positivity in the interview process, it can oftentimes come across as confidence. Okay, and that confidence can go a long way towards creating a sense of certainty in the mind of a hiring decision maker, right? Because man, this person is confident. I like it. And again, a lot of times this stuff is taking place like in the hiring decision maker's mind. A lot of times the decisions that they come to about a candidate oftentimes take place on more of a subconscious level than a conscious level, right? And so when you smile, you're speaking to their subconscious level about you as a candidate, right? And so you want to just be cognizant of that, okay? Remember, don't miss an opportunity to smile naturally. Don't be weird, okay? I'm going to say it again. Don't be a weirdo about it, okay? But when it makes sense, you want to always lead with a smile. You want to always don't forget to smile, even when you're answering interview questions, because it can come across in a very confident manner. And that confident manner can help go towards creating a sense of certainty in the mind of a hiring decision maker that you could potentially be the solution that they're looking for. Today's episode is being brought to you by The Ugly Truth About Getting Hired: How to Land the Job of Your Dreams regardless of the competition. Every single day, great candidates just like you fail in the job interview process. Not because they're unqualified for the position that they're applying for, but because they're leveraging the wrong interview strategy. Most great candidates fail because they don't know how to strategically position themselves as the most valuable candidate in the interview process based on the problems that the hiring executive is looking to solve with that hiring decision. In this book, you're going to discover a step-by-step interview system that will help you exponentially improve your odds of landing a top dollar job offer with ease. You can pick up a free copy of this book today by heading over to www.theuglytruthbook.com. That's www.theuglytruthbook.com. You can pick up a free copy today, so don't wait. Again, that's www.theuglytruthbook.com.